Hello and welcome to the garden. Today I am doing the hardest job I think that a gardener will ever do. And that job is having a good old clear out and decluttering everything that needs to go from the garden. I don't know why we find it so hard, but we do. Every year I just stack the same things in the same places and then I don't use them, and then the next year they're just taking up that valuable space again. So I'm going to be really ruthless today. I'm spending today in the garden and the greenhouse, and then I'm going to go down the plot and do exactly the same thing. So by the end of next week, hopefully there will be nothing in my garden or at my allotment that I don't need, fingers crossed. So let's be ruthless. I'm gonna go along with you through absolutely everything, and we're gonna really think about, do we actually need this? So this is a really easy place to start, because this just is a bag of rubbish here. This is just a bag of bulbs and things that I've planted, and I've just put the rubbish, oh no it's not, there's actually here some onion sets, but I'm not doing onion sets, so I'm going to give them away. But apart from that, it is actually, oh no, look, here we go, some more onion sets. But apart from that, and another one, I keep saying apart from that, and there's another one. But anyway, a lot of this is just rubbish. Most of it is rubbish, so I'm going to use this as a bit of a rubbish bag for the time being, and this is where I'm going to start. Now let's see what's in this bag. This is all gloves. Now I've got so many gardening gloves. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash them, and then once they're all washed I will just pick the best ones, the ones that aren't as tatty as the other ones, keep them, and then the rest of them I can always give away if they're good enough, but if not they can just go in the bin. And this bag has got a big hole in it, so that can go. So that's good. Okay, I've got a pot. Now what I'm going to do with all of these pots, because I've got so many, I'm going to put them all in a pile, and I'll probably just keep a certain amount of each one and the rest of them can go. So I've just put them in the wash, because I think that's a big mistake that I definitely made. Sort of give myself a to-do list. I will be like, oh, I'll put them in the wash, I will sort them out, and I'll just put piles around, when actually that's not what we want. We want to actually go through everything and get rid of it, so that there's a lot more space for the next growing season. So under here there's just a whole load of things that really need to be gone through, and a lot of it again can just go in the bin. So let's start from this side. So these are pots that really I use indoors more, but I've just been sort of collecting them in here. So what I will do is I might actually take them in and give them a good wash and see if I can find a plant for them inside, and if not then they can go. So I've got a few pots. That one's got a crack in it, so that one can go, and these ones inside, I think I'm actually going to get rid of these because I don't really use them. And then again I will keep these and see how many I've got of each size, and keep a certain amount and then get rid of the rest. So I've got some in here as well. Okay, so I've got a bit of a system. First things first, I'm going to take these inside ready to wash, and then they are out of the way. So now I'm going to start on this shelf. This is actually the watering system, so that is more tubing, so I definitely need to keep that, because that's what I used to water my chilies from the water butt, the solar powered system, so I'm going to keep that. This has actually disintegrated, so what I'm going to do, oh my goodness, look, I've just found another I'm losing these all the time. I'm going to collect all my tools as well, because they all need a really good wash and they all need a good sharpen ready for next year. So I'm going to collect all my tools up as well. I've got some right in front of me here, you probably can't see that, but I'm going to just leave that there. And again, look, I mean, this is just me all over. I just leave things all over the place. Now this is chicken pellets, so what I might do, I've got right in front of me here a tub of fish blood and bone. There's not much left in the bottom of it, so I think I'm just going to pour that in there, because that will just get used up in the spring anyway, and it just means it's in a container that's a bit more secure. and then it means I can just get rid of that packaging. And I've got a big bag here as well which can go. So on to the last little bit of shelving. I have used these again and again and again, and I'm going to actually get rid of these now. So I use everything that I can that can be reused. So anything where I buy plug plants in. So these were, what were these? These were pansies, and I've just reused these and reused these, and it's quite good to do that, but it comes to a point where they just get quite flimsy and you can't reuse them. So I'm going to put them into the recycling. I've got some pot trays here, which is really, really handy for when I'm growing on the other side. So this side, you can water into this tray, or if I've got the watering system on, then you can, it can drain and it sits in here. So the water can sit there. But when it's the other side where I've got my just wooden benches, these are quite good just to be able to put plant pots onto, and then they can drain in, or you can bottle water them as well. So I find these really, really handy. So I'm definitely going to keep these. And same goes for these trays. These ones are a bit more sturdy. So some of them can be quite flimsy and you can use them a couple of times and then they have to go. These ones are quite sturdy ones, so I'm going to keep these. And that is an empty bottle of rose feed, I think. Yeah, so that can go. But right under here, I've got a really big tray, which again is really useful. I'm just going to pop all the trays in there so that I know what I've got. And I've got another big green one there. And again, these are just handy for me personally. So if you're going through your things, just have a think about what would be handy for you, because that might not be practical for someone else to use. They might not need as many of this, but how my greenhouse is set up, these are really good for me to keep. These were just on that bottom shelf as well. That I actually had on my patio, but that was indoors. I'm going to take them and put them indoors and see if I can use them somewhere inside my house. So what I don't want to do today is get into cleaning anything, because I think that's where you can get quite sidetracked. I've got plenty of time to clean the greenhouse, clean the polytunnel, and get everything looking nice for next season. This is just about getting everything that is excess out of here so that there is more room for next year. Okay, so just over here, behind where the washing line is, there is a big pile of pots and things like that. I'm going to bring them over and I'm going to sort them out just in this area here. I'm going to see how many of each I've got, and then I'm going to try and downsize my collection. I've just found some old netting as well that has really had it, so I'm actually just going to chuck that in the bin. Okay, let's see what we've got. So we've got some really big black pots, which I might actually use out the front of my house in the spring for a nice display. So I'm going to keep all the black pots together. That's a bucket, and I've got 2 more there. So I've got 3 big ones and another one. I've actually got more in this little area here where my raised beds are, but I will do that after I've done this box here. So these ones I'm definitely keeping, and they're going to be for out the front of the garden. Now, this is a bit messy now, but let's start going through it and see what I've got. I'm going to get rid of that now. I've used this for a good couple of years. It's pretty tatty, it's pretty flimsy. Let's get rid of that. Now let's see how many of each style and size we've got. So any that are broken like this, or got bits missing, they've been used enough times, I am going to get rid of them. This netting is really grotty. That's going to go straight in the bin. I'm now just going to go just around the corner and fill up this box with all the other pots, and then I can go through them as well. Okay, so I've got some more square ones. Got another big one which I will keep. That is a big one. That one can go. Got some more really big ones and some more square ones. Again, these all need a really good wash. I'm not thinking about that right now. I've also got lots and lots of these buckets, which do come in handy and potato buckets as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the big blue box into the greenhouse, and I'm going to put probably 10 of each size. I mean, how many more am I going to need of the best pots? And then I'm going to get rid of the rest, and I'm going to store them in here until I have a big clean up, because they need to be cleaned, but the greenhouse needs to be cleaned, everything needs to be cleaned. So I'm just going to focus on downsizing at the moment, bring that box in, and then see what I've got. So square pots, I've got one big one and then 8 sort of medium sized ones. I do use these, as you can see, these have been used, so I'm quite happy to keep all 8 of them, and I'm going to put them in my box. I had about 15 of these. I'm going to keep 7 of them. These are the nicest size that I like. I've already got loads with my chilies in that are being overwintered, and they're quite big, so any specific things you would pot up in this size, like chilies, like peppers, things like that. So I'm not going to keep all of them, I'm just going to keep this selection. I have got 10 of these pots which I'm going to keep. These are varying sizes, but they're quite good for tomatoes and things like that. I know that I've got lots of these in the shed at the allotment, so I'm just going to keep 10 here. The rest of them are going to go because I know I've got loads of them. Yeah, they do keep in handy for potting on and things like that, but there's only so many that you use at a time, and then they just end up getting in the way. So 10 here, and then I can have a look how many I've got when I go down there and we do a big clear out there, and we can consolidate them. But I think that is a really good amount to start with. So that is the pots that I am going to keep for the time being. The rest of them are going to go. So I'm going to bring back in the 2 buckets that I use for compost. So I usually have a couple on the go for when I've got things like perlite in them and when I've got just normal compost. So I've usually got them on the go during the growing season. I definitely want to keep them in here. Again, they need a good clean. Not a problem for now. So I'm really pleased with the greenhouse now. There's nothing in there that really shouldn't be there. I've had a really good sort out. Now out here isn't actually too bad, but I do just want to address this area because otherwise it will just get left, and I think, oh, there's not much to do there, and then it gets left, and then obviously things just accumulate. So let's have a look what is here. So I used this is an old water container, and I used this last year to grow potatoes in. I don't think I'm going to do that again this year. Could it come in handy? Probably. Am I going to use it? Probably not. I think I just need to get rid of it. So that is going to go. The only thing left is some terracotta pots, which I am going to keep, and I will plant them up in a display. I will do that here. I've got quite a few terracotta pots that are just all piled up by my back door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them because I know that I'm going to use them in that display. And this is for a little drinking pond, but doesn't look very good, does it? I need to get that washed up, so I will leave that there, and it will remind me to wash it up when I come out here to actually clean up. Apart from that, it's pretty clear. Apart from this, let's get rid of that. That can go. So that's my little pile that I've just found some broken bits that are going to go. My tools I'm going to put back in the greenhouse, so let's do that. Now this is really bad. This was, I think I originally used this as a bin, I think, anyway, and then I cut a bucket out and used it as a plant pot, and then I've just left things in. It's got rainwater in it. I'm actually just going to tip it out and see if I can salvage anything that's in there. So I've got some hoses, which I don't even know if they're for our hose. That can go in the recycling, so I'm gonna put that in the garage so Vince can check them and put that in the recycling. So the shells and the stones I will just put in this plant tray because I do actually use them to top my plants in my house. I just really like collecting shells and doing that, so I'm going to keep them, and I'll just put them in the greenhouse just to dry out because they're quite wet and soggy. Plant feet, I will do the same. I'll just leave them in the greenhouse just to dry out a bit. And then I've got some pigs. I'm always finding pigs, and do you know what, I might actually spray them gold and use them in my living room. So I think I'm going to let them dry out in the greenhouse and then I'm going to use them in the house. And this needs to go down the plot because this is for my shed to hang things on. So I'm going to leave that on the side to dry out as well. And then next time I go to the plot, I will take that with me. I just find clearing out like that really, really hard to do because I think you're always going to need something. But I'm so glad I've done that now. I need to head to the plot and do that, which I will do on Monday. It's Friday today. It's Friday the 27th of November. So I'll take you with me on Monday and we can do exactly the same down there. It is absolutely beautiful blue skies today. It has been absolutely pouring in London, so this is the first chance I've got to come down here and finish my job of getting rid of rubbish that I don't need and anything else that can be recycled or given away. So we've got lovely blue sky though, which is really nice. I was actually a little bit worried about my polytunnel because it has been so windy and I left it open. So I'm going to get that closed today actually as well because it has been so windy. I don't know if the weather's been like that for you, but oh my goodness, the rain and the wind has just been something else. It's gone really dark actually. So here we are, everything's looking fine. Oh look, my garlic's come up in those beds. I put some garlic in with the fruit bushes. I'll show you in there in a second. I'm not sure if you could see that. Let's see if these ones, oh look, this has been blown off but the garlic's come up. So that's exciting. I'll put that back on today. Everything else is looking fine. Let's have a look in the polytunnel. Looks like it survived the wind, which I knew it would, but I just was worried if in case anything blew into it. No, it looks absolutely fine. I'm going to close these doors today though. And I have to say it's so nice walking around here and it actually being nice and clear. Oh, it's so nice. And even this area. I mean, I did that a good couple of weeks ago now and it's still looking really tidy. When I walked past the entrance just a few minutes ago, I'd seen that there'd been some wood chip delivered, so I will probably just come tomorrow morning and just top up. But to be honest, it's only really this bit here. Let me show you. This bit, which is just between the fruit cage and the mini polytunnel, that needs a bit of wood chip. And if I come here, this side of the polytunnel, I've done that end by the raspberries when I cleared that out, but just outside that door of the polytunnel needs doing. But apart from that, I'll just turn you around and show you, there's only a few patches that need a little bit of a top up. I mean, this is foxgloves here, so I don't want to cover them, and a lot of this can just literally be pulled up because there's quite a lot of wood chip already down. I mean, that area is absolutely fine. So yeah, I reckon maybe 3 or 4 wood chip runs and this will be looking nice and tidy. But that is not for today. I need to open up that shed and I need to sort out what needs to go. To be honest, it's not terrible, but there's definitely things in here that need to go. I mean, this pile here is just, it definitely needs to go, 100%. Right, let's get this done. I think what I'm going to do is pull everything out and then I can see exactly what's especially at the back corner, and then I'm only going to put things back I need and the rest is going to go. So I've got my bin bag, I've got quite a bit off of the floor, and I'm just going to go through these shelves, and anything that I don't think I'm going to use or I haven't used is going to go. So old pom plant pots, they can definitely go now. I'm not going to be needing them. These trays are really, really flimsy. I think someone gave me these quite a few years ago actually, and I have been using them, but they're really starting to get brittle and fall apart now. They're starting to crack, so they can go and I can use something different next year. I definitely need these supports. I do use them. They're quite flimsy wire actually, but they do come in really handy. You can sort of bend them and they can connect together. So I've been using these for quite a few years again, and they're still going strong, so I will definitely keep them. I don't want to throw away things that I do use, but it's things that I don't use. I mean, I'm quite happy to use things that are a bit tatty, or you know, look like they've had their day, as long as they're still usable. But anything like the seed trays that are starting to crack, or you know, they're not going to be useful, they're the things that I need to recycle. This is a tripod for my phone, which I actually forgot I had, so I'm going to take this home because it will probably come in a bit more handy there. These are zip ties and clips, and like metal clips like that. I'm going to try and keep all of them together in a pile. I might even get a little basket or something to keep them in, because they do come in really handy. My hose, I definitely need my hose. I will move that onto the ground. I think that was just up there because there was nowhere on the floor to put it. This is my knee rest, which is really handy. And these are cushions for the chairs, which I never use because I never get to sit down here. Hopefully that will change next year. No, these do come in handy whenever anyone comes up, like the kids, or if my mum comes up, then these are really handy to just pop onto the chairs, so it's a little bit more comfy when we're sitting there. So I will definitely keep them. Metal wire, that always comes in handy. I'm going to keep that. Oh look, autumn winter mix of green manure. I might keep that, and when I come tomorrow I might actually sew that in one of the beds. Why not? Because it's there. Autumn winter mix. I don't know when I did that. That must be quite a few years old now, but nothing, no harm in trying to use that. I'm going to keep that for tomorrow. Some more plastic trays. As you can see, this is what I mean. They're completely bending now, and they're getting all crinkled and cracked. So I mean, anything like this, if you can use it for a couple of years or even one season, it is really worth it, because otherwise that will just go in the bin, recycling should I say. So I always do try and use everything I come across that I'm given, or you know, try and recycle what I can, but there comes a point where you have to move on. And what is in this bag? This is all screws. I think this was from the Polytunnel, screws and nails and things. I might just keep that in here because we are always building things up here. Well, I say we, Vince is all, you know, I'm always getting him to build things, should I say, so things like that can come in really handy, so I am going to keep them up here. This needs a good clean. Look at that, it's so rusty. I'm going to take that home along with all my other tools, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to give them all a clean up over winter, and I'm going to give them all a nice sharpen and things like that. See what I've got, assess what I've got, ready for the next season. So that's going to come home with me. These plastic stakes, some of them are broken and they're all a bit brittle where they've just been in here, so I'm going to get rid of them as well. Got some Allen keys, they always come in handy. I'm going to keep them as well. That's not a lot that I've actually kept from this area. And these wire cloches I'm going to keep as well, because they're really handy for the spring, especially when you're just trying to cover anything that you've planted. So keep them, that's fine. I'm going to put my watering can on this shelf like that. That looks nice. My hose I'm going to keep to one side. I mean, we definitely won't be needing the hose anytime soon in the winter, but I'm going to keep that there. And then I'm going to put all the chairs right here. If I put you down a bit, I'm going to put the chairs in this area so they're nice and tucked out of the way. So that's looking a lot more organised. This is my rubbish so far. Let's take that out so we can see. That looks a lot better. Now all my tools I'm actually taking home, like I say, to clean, get the rust off, sharpen if they want, see what I've got. So all of that's coming home with me. Now, this was from the Polytunnel, and it is all just plastic, spare plastic. I just don't think I'm going to need it. That has just sat there since I've had the Polytunnel, which has been years now. I just don't think I'm going to need them. I'm going to get rid of them. And the same goes for that netting there. I've got some black netting that I can't remember what I used it for originally, but I think that could just go now because I'm just not using it. I've just managed to fit my trolley in there as well. So that is how I'm leaving everything. That is how I'm leaving everything, and that feels so good. This is the last bit that I need to tidy out, and this is a little bucket that just accumulates things in. It's in my Polytunnel. Okay, I've got a bag to go home with and my rubbish bag next to me, and I'm going to go through this box. So that is a tool I'm going to be taking home to clean and assess. Another tool, another tool. This is another seed tray that's had it, so that can go. Gloves, I'll take them home and wash them because I've got loads at home. Got some seeds here I'm going to take home. Secateurs. Trowel, that can go. Got loads of pots which I might keep. Right, so these little ones I'm going to get rid of. I've had it. I'm going to keep the big ones like that because I help out with a plant sale at school and they're really handy to have for that. So I will keep them and keep them to one side. These can go, these cups. I've got lots of tomato clips in here. I've got a lot of used plant labels which they go really brittle after the first year, so I'm going to get rid of them. I've got loads of seeds that I've just found in here, so they can go home with me and I can sort them out. All these plant labels I'm going to get rid of. They can be recycled. Okay, what's this? French beans. Okay, I'm going to take them home. I've got some more plant clips, tomato plant clips, which I will leave in here and I can just use them next year. They come in really handy. And I do try to reuse the plastic ones. I have got compostable ones now, but any like this which are plastic, I do try and reuse them until they give up, because it's just another piece of plastic in the world, isn't it? If you keep buying more, try and reuse what we can. Plant clips I'm going to go and put in the shed. And then I've got my tripod and my saw, which I'm going to take back with me, and I can assess all of that at home, what I've got and what I need. I know I've got so many secateurs, but they all need a good clean and a good sharpen, and I need to put something on them to make them a bit more visible, so I stop losing them everywhere and leaving them everywhere, because they've all got brown handles or green handles and you just think that's how you lose them. Anyway, that is now empty. That's my weeding bucket, which I've been using for storage, so I can leave that there for when I need it. And I've got this big bag of rubbish to go to the bin on my way out. Some of that I will actually take home and put in the recycling, but anything that can go in the bin I'll just put in the bin outside the gates to the plot. I'm going to take all my tools as well to the car so that I can sort that out, and I'll probably do a video about that actually, about how I sort of take care of my tools. Let me know if you want to see that. Another thing I did want to say is, if you do like my videos, please like and please subscribe, because it really does mean a lot to my channel and it helps me get pushed to other viewers. What else have I got to do? I've got to get rid of the netting and the plastic. I might send a message out about them and see if anyone else wants them before they actually go, but they're definitely going to go. But if anyone else can use them, that would obviously be my preference. That's it for me today though. I'm gonna make a move now. It feels good that I've got rid of so much stuff. Thank you so much for watching me, and I'll see you again soon.